Hello and welcome to Native Yoga Center. My name is Tom McLaughlin, and today jumping through for tight hips. So we are not going to open our hips in the process of actually jumping in the air. So what we need to do is combine the hip opening work that we can do for the ranges of motion that are required for making a successful jump through with some of the upper body strengthening exercises that are also required to be able to sustain our body weight in the process of jumping. So today I'm going to show you several different ways that you can build up to improving your hip mobility while improving your ability to jump through in Ashtanga or vinyasa yoga. So let's break down some of the key things that we need to work with when we are doing the jump through. So if we analyze the jump through, one of the main components that makes jumping through reasonable is one, being able to do deep hip flexion. So start off by sitting on your yoga mat and practice bending your knees and see how close can you get your knees to your chest and your chest towards your knees, and see if you can wrap around. If it's tight and you have your hands here, what we're going to practice doing is working on the ability to lift your chest, which is going to create an anterior tilt of your pelvis, and rounding the spine, which will create a little bit of a posterior tilt. So one of the keys is being able to make this sort of movement with the spine and over time improve our overall ability to get curled up like a ball. This is important because when we start jumping through, we're basically imitating that sort of shape. So the next thing I'd like for you to do is come onto your feet and hands and see if you have the ability to bring your feet together, have your heels lift in the air, bring your chest down onto your knees, and bend your knees. So one good way to kind of improve the hip mobility for the jump through is to create as close of an approximation of the shape that you need for the jump through, and hold it for a duration of time. So pick either like a 5 breath count or a 10 breath count, as many breaths as you would like. But here, try to do this while I'm doing as well. And then this way we'll start warming and getting the body ready for some jumps. So some of the key ingredients that we're focused on when we're sitting here like this is getting the ankle stretch, so like your Achilles tendon area, your calves, full flexion in the knees, and we're working at full flexion in the hips. So now what you can do while you're holding and you set your hands up like we're going to do a jump through is to start to just rock your body weight forward, put a little bit of pressure on your arms, raise your hips up, and then bend your knees and rock the weight back so the weight's on the feet. So this is very similar to some of the movements that we'll use coordinated while flying through the air in the jump. Is just rock forward and back, improving the range of motion in your ankles, knees, and hips, and now increasing the amount of weight you can sustain on your upper body and your arms and your hands. So this is a good way to start to open the hips and build strength for the jump through. Okay, the next exercise we're going to do is I'd like for you to come into a seated position and test out your ability to sit with crossed legs. So you might need to take a prop like a block, put it underneath your hips to create this situation where your hips start to come above the height of your knees. And then what we'll do is attempt to fold forward over the legs. And in yoga, this posture can be called yoga mudra. Basically, you have the cross-leg position, and we're attempting to fold forward and bring the head down toward the yoga mat. So again, how far you go will be dependent upon exactly how tight your muscles are today. So we might find that we're somewhere in this range. Now, what I want you to do is now come up and uncross and recross and put your legs with the opposite shin in front. And again, attempt to fold as far forward over your legs as you can. Because what we're doing here is very similar to what happens when we do the jump through. The jump through requires a cross leg position. So now what I'd like for you to do is to come into this sort of position where you're on your hands and knees, cross one ankle on top of the other, and the bottom foot, curl those toes under so you have the pressure against the ball of the foot versus resting down on the top of the foot. When we have this position, I'd like for you to try to now come down on your elbows and just bend your knees and see if you can bring your hips back towards your heels with this one foot crossed on top of the foot that has the toes curled under. So this way, this is a very similar position that we're going to end up using when we are doing the jump. So now what I'd like for you to do to add the upper body piece, now that you've figured out what we're trying to do with the legs, is take your hands and bring your hands flat on the floor and walk them a little bit closer to your knees and see if you can practice just oscillating forward and back here. Now, if it's hard for you to have your hands near your knees, naturally bringing the hands more forward will enable you to maneuver a little easier. If you would like to challenge it further, bring your hands back and practice working on trying to press your palms down while you hold in this rounded shape. This is another position that we'll use while we're in midair to try to do the jump through. So now what we're going to do is take the one foot off of the other. We're going to curl those toes under. We're going to stack the other foot on top. And we're going to do the same exercise here where we practice with crossed legs doing this little ankle press and hip flex with external rotation. And I'll talk a little bit more about that part in a moment. But here, so once you've established that position, place your palms on the floor, do a little rocking motion forward and a little rocking motion back. Remember, if you want to challenge the coordination in this further, you take your hands back closer to the knees and you do just a little minimal rocking motion forward and back. This is the kind of work that we end up doing in the jump through. A big part of it is being able to protract your scapulas. So let's focus on that. What I'm going to have you do now is just on your hands and knees, set your hands in position and become aware of, this is called retraction when your shoulder blades come together, and protraction when they go broad across the back. So I would like for you to just to oscillate in between protraction and retraction and do a little bit of shoulder press work to start to feel your shoulder blades have the ability to glide across the ribs. So we're going to utilize this sort of motion here. When we do the jump, we're going to predominantly be in a state of protraction with a little bit of flexion in the spine, which is indicative of what is called cat pose, Marjarasana. So as you push down into your hands and knees and you round your spine, this is very close to what we're going to attempt to do in the jump. So now, if you can keep this cat pose shape and if you curl your toes under and you try to walk your feet forward, now let me break down this next movement. The next movement is the ability to, when you bring your foot forward, to have your foot pointing. So we're going to end up resting weight on the top of the foot. So our next thing that we're going to attempt to do is see if you have the ability to hold a downward facing dog. Down dog, really, if you cannot hold down dog yet, jumping through is not appropriate. The way that you'll jump is you'll come on your knees and you'll swivel. And you can make the jump through very simple by just working, rotating center of gravity on the knees, being able to bring your legs forward, bringing them back, swivel. You can go the other way where you swivel. And this exercise right here is a good way to start to work your hip mobility, prepping for the jumps. Notice I'm going each way, back, forth, so that I work the ability to work this coordination. Coming around, swiveling around, almost like making a 360 with the legs. And then I'll go back the other way so that we can work doing the same thing evenly both sides. All right, next up, what we were talking about before. So if you come to a downward facing dog and now lean your weight forward so you're in a high plank. Now bend your right knee, pull your knee up towards your shoulder. Now point your foot. With a pointed foot, try to swing your right foot up towards your left hand. Gently bring your knee down like you're coming into pigeon. Push down, raise your knee up, and take your right leg back. Let's try the other side. Shift your weight forward into a plank. Pull your left knee up towards your chest. Point your left foot. Give a little swing of your left foot near your right hand. Touch your left knee down. Push into your hands. Take your left knee off the floor. Take your left leg back in the air. Step your left leg back. Good. So this drill is really good because you're building that strength in your core and your upper body to be able to make the jump. So now we'll put those together and let's do 3 on each side. And I'll move a little bit quicker. And if my speed is too fast, go slower. Work at a speed that's appropriate for you. You're in down dog, plank, right knee up, point foot, foot on floor, knee on floor, push down, reverse order back, left foot, point foot, knee up, foot down, knee down, push, step back. That's 1. Right side, touch down and back, left side, touch down and back, right side, touch down and back, left side, touch down and back. Good. So this exercise is a good way to start to coordinate what we're going to try to do when we jump. And jumping realistically is going to take a lot of work to build the ability to feel safe to jump. So now, if I start to bend my knees and do a little tiny hop, this is the key where you're not going too high, too far, too fast, where you can control your jumping motion and feel like you stiffen your arms, you get protracted in your shoulder blades, and through that little jumping motion preps you for putting it all together where you jump, you cross your feet in the air, and you come through and you kick your legs out. So you jump up, you cross your feet in the air, you kick it through, and you bring them in front. A lot of that's possible if you have the ability to cross your legs and have your arms wrapped around through the side. So these drills will help to improve your hip mobility. A couple of more hip mobility drills that I think will be really important really is to work on then the pigeon prep pose, or the Ekapada Raja Kapotasana, the one-leg king pigeon pose, where you put the pressure down on the hip. This is going to be a really good one for getting that sort of increased range of motion. It's really kind of like doing one leg at a time in this sort of yoga mudra position. But of course, you're going to do both sides evenly. So we'll apply the pressure over onto the left side as well. And this is also, again, you can see kind of the same leg shape that we'll use when we go for the jump, when we come in midair. And another final drill to work this all together is put blocks on the floor, cross legs, and lift up. And practice trying to scoot your feet back and scoot your feet forward without touching your hips down onto the floor. And you just kind of scoot. See, I'm just like taking steps. My left foot goes back, my right foot goes back, my left foot goes back, my right foot goes back, my left foot goes back, my right foot goes back to where I can come all the way back. And then my left foot goes forward, my right foot goes forward, my left foot goes forward, right foot goes forward, left foot goes forward, right foot goes forward, and then you can sit down. These are all lot. I know it's a lot, but I want to give you a lot so that you have something you can pick. Pick one thing, work on it every day, then diversify. Put it all together. If you have any questions, reach out. Check us out on our website, nativeYogaCenter.com. I hope you have a great day. Wishing you the best. Namaste.